Say something. Right now.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I broke my leg.
I was 8 years old. Hello and welcome to the Invincible Podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to sit around and talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. On today's episode, we're going to be talking all about the recently announced Invincible Animated Series.
Hey!
I'm one of your hosts, Ryan. Joining me is Bill.
Hi!
And TJ.
We're animated now.
It's the best of both worlds.
How are you guys doing today?
Take it out, take it slow. Then we rock out the
God.
show.
It's the best of both worlds. Doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
My eye is itching.
Ryan, for anyone who can't see, which is everybody, you straight up look like you have pink eye.
It's like within the last 2 seconds, I just started itching my eye.
But it's
and I
not
must
like
have
your
scratched it.
eyeball so much. It's like your eyelids
Yeah.
are really red.
We'll check back in
Yeah.
later in the episode. TJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good, Ryan. Tell me the best thing that you did
In Pally.
that's not Eiffel Tower related.
Well, I mean, if
It wouldn't be anyways.
Okay.
I mean, the Eiffel Tower was cool.
So Ryan
I
and
went-
Katie,
yeah.
his wife, went on their honeymoon.
Yeah, we were a little
Paris.
late. Thanks to everybody congratulating us, but we did. It took us a couple years to save up and go, and for everything to just work out. But we ended up going to southern France in Aix-en-Provence for 5 days, and then up to Paris for almost 2 days. The southern France portion was a little bit more relaxed. Went to a couple wineries, and basically hung out, did some fun stuff. And then later in Paris was more of the run around crazy, get to see everything and do everything.
touristy kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
So how was the wine
The wine that I tried was great.
compared to like American wine?
I mean, the region that we're in now, it's much better, obviously. And yeah, it was really good. I don't want to get too into it, but I actually brought home wine. So
Food.
food. A lot of Italian food, because in southern France, Italy is like an hour and a half away. So there's just a ton of really, really good Italian food. I'll show you guys pictures later.
Did you eat a baguette?
I want to say every single day.
Did you have cheese?
No, like it's so much cheese. It's like French food. Like think about French food. You don't like it's a lot of like beef dishes and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's just bakery, like croissants and pain au chocolat and baguettes and just
A lot of carbs.
cheese, carbs. Oh yeah, and they eat a
Gruyere
lot.
cheese?
Yeah, so it was really fun. I went to
Gruyere cheese.
bringing it back to this podcast. I went to 2 different comic book shops. One in southern France and one in Paris.
I almost texted you.
Did you?
Because I saw the picture that you posted, and I saw a Descender.
Oh yeah, it was. I did see the
wanted you
Descender.
to- I would
So
paid you for it.
the one in southern France, Le Batterie, that I went to. The thing with comic book shops overseas or in other parts of the world, in non-English speaking regions, because the area that I was in spoke very little English, or the people didn't, and they don't have single issue comics. Like very rarely would they have them. It's all hardcovers. It's all trade paperbacks and everything, and except not trade paperbacks. Almost everything is a hardcover. So it was just a whole comic book shop of hardcover collections of every comic. You know, it was really, really cool. I did have the I did have the French edition of the Delcourt.
You already had that.
Yes, hardcover, volume 1 from in French. I grabbed another copy because they changed it up. They have a new style.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow, that's much later too.
That's much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, it looks much better. It actually
The
has
newer version is better.
yeah, it actually has some pinups in the back that's
Oh,
not in the
cool.
normal one.
Yeah, it's like this was probably released
Much more recently. I want to
Yeah.
say it was within the last year. It even has ads in the back for all the way up to like the
End
final
of all things.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. I saw that. I was planning on getting just the Conquest volume in French, but when I saw a new version of volume 1, I had to get that.
Look at that pinup.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I got something else as well, but you guys are gonna have to wait till the Oblivion Song podcast show and tell.
Oh,
So
That's
guess what it
exciting.
is.
yeah, I bet you can guess. But no, we had a great time. So it was pretty crazy to be there and have the announcement of the animated series happen and be like 7 hours ahead and it just be craziness.
Before we get into that,
Oh no, we got a lot to get into.
I know that it's not the Oblivion Song podcast, but since you just did a show and tell, can I do a quick show and tell?
Yeah, of course.
So I have a show and tell.
What you got?
So
Is it a tell?
it is a show.
It's a show.
It's a
Is
show.
it in your pocket?
And then we can tell about it. No, it's not.
Okay.
So
Where
Ottley-
is it? You don't have anything.
I have it.
Okay.
Ottley did a
yeah.
he it's not
Oh,
that.
I was gonna say that should be on the
No.
Oblivion podcast.
No, to talk about that, I commissioned Ottley to do a Nathan Cole from Oblivion song, but it's not that. I haven't gotten that yet, so I'm not expecting to get that until after San
Yeah,
Diego
yeah.
Comic-Con. However,
was gonna say,
Felix
damn.
Art did just post a whole bunch of new art from Invincible, and in my opinion, and I feel like it's not up for debate, but I guess it's for debate. But you know, I got like the best page
that was available.
that went up at that time. So I got the
I was gonna
first
say that is a picture of
appearance.
Buffy.
Yeah, it's not Buffy. The first appearance of little girl.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, are you my dad?
Yeah, are you my daddy?
Very cool.
Tara, little girl Tara.
Final page on issue 126.
Yeah, which is funny because that's the third issue of Reboot. And so that's the last page of the third Reboot page, and I also have the last page of the first Reboot issue.
That's right.
Yeah,
Was this him inking?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he inked over his own pencils
Yeah.
in this case. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I was excited
like
about
it.
that one. I couldn't believe I got it.
So we knew that Ottley had sent a ton of pages, or was planning on sending, or whatever, a ton of pages over to Felix. I was surprised with what went up though. It was relatively recent.
Yeah,
stuff,
they were
right?
all recent stuff. I was hoping for a Rexplode, but
Like
you know what? I
there's-
talked to Felix a while ago, and he said that there wasn't really much Rexplode
Even
left
from Reboot.
that he had gotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that Reboot page though.
I still feel like-
talked to Ottley, and he said that is with Felix right now.
Oh really?
So I'm waiting for that one.
Yeah, I still feel like there's still going to be a lot more, and it's amazing that, I mean, not amazing, but I'm sure it's intentional that he's holding on to some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prices
It
are
would be
going to
cool
go up.
if he like posted a Rexplode page when Rexplode from the movie gets announced, like the casting.
Just kinda do
You
it
know what I mean?
as-
like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know, Bill. How you doing, Bill? How you doing?
I'm waiting for what's next, Ryan.
What's next is a little bit of housekeeping. Reminder to everybody that you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We actually have a new iTunes review that I'm going to pull up.
What?
Well, I continue all this because I forgot to grab it.
Should we talk about how hot it is in here?
It's
is-
fucking hot.
it
TJ,
is
you're
pretty
wearing a
hot.
hoodie and it's 90
I always
degrees.
wear a hoodie. I
Dude,
like
it's
my arms
90
covered.
degrees. And then you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt when
It
it's
was cold
60
that day.
degrees.
I wanted to try something new, and I'll never do it again.
Well, maybe you should try it now.
Longtime listeners of this podcast will know that in the summer it gets hot in this room.
Jesus.
So yeah, you can email us if you want to email us to be part of the show. You can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. TJ, tell us a little bit about the Oblivion Song podcast.
The Oblivion Song podcast comes out every Friday after a new issue releases. So if a new issue of Oblivion Song came out, 2 days later, our new issue episode will come out. we'll
And as
talk
of
about
right
it.
now, yeah, so we're a monthly podcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as the comic is monthly comic, we are a monthly podcast. If it goes to weekly, then we got work to do.
Yeah, we would have work. It was the fourth issue that we just talked about. And, and fifth issue is going to be in 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it'll come out
I
July.
feel like that's quick.
And then we will be caught up to
11th.
the rest of the world, apparently, who has read all of it.
No,
Oh, it's issue
not-
6?
Yeah, it's issue 6.
I know, so close. So yeah, check out the Oblivion Song podcast. That's also us, and give that a shot. Now, as bringing it back to that iTunes review, we've got one from Batboy 1986. That was a good year. He says, lots of good discussion and fun. He says, I love all things Invincible, and so does this crew. Thumbs up. Thank you very much, Batboy 1986. for that 5-star review over on iTunes.
Oh, super nice.
That was super, super nice.
Wow,
Like,
do we have
nice.
20? We have
22.
21. We have 21 5-star,
Oh yeah,
and we have one
one-star.
star.
Aw.
Who can we see who did
You
that?
can't please
can't.
everybody.
No,
Really?
because you can rate without leaving something to
Wow.
say. They don't tell us. I mean, if you give us 1 star, let us know. We'll
try to
do better. The next episode in 2 weeks that we release on this here fine bi-weekly podcast, we're going to be going back to Tech Jacket. Is that what we decided?
The conclusion.
Yeah. So last episode 58 of this podcast, we talked about Tech Jacket volumes 1 and 2, and go listen to that. Read it and go listen to that episode. We had a great time talking about it, and we're going to finish up Tech Jacket with volumes 3 and 4, and we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk all about that one. So get caught up. Send us your thoughts on that.
If you've tried Side Stories of Invincible and it wasn't for you, you should still try Tech Jacket because it is one of the better ones.
And it's totally like separate from Invincible. Like
Yeah.
there are some
little
things,
things, but-
little teeny tiny things, but it by no means like has a story like, oh, this is in the Invincible universe. Like it's its own thing.
Yeah. And while we're talking about our podcast schedule and such, you might have noticed that we delayed our gore episode. TJ and I actually recorded it without Bill because Bill was sick at the time,
Yep.
had an issue, and it was actually a fun episode. We had a good time talking about all the gore in Invincible and where we'd like to see it in the movie and our favorite gory moments, and we got some great feedback from everyone. But it felt weird to release that right after the announcement of the animated series and not talk about the animated series in that episode or the gore in the animated series or anything like that. So we decided to delay that one a little bit, but it will be coming back out later down the line because it was fun to talk about.
So before we get off, because we were talking about Tech Jacket, and you said that the writer of Tech Jacket came out with a new thing called Stellar, right?
Yes!
That just released?
Yeah.
I read it.
I didn't get a chance to even read it. I bought it, and I didn't even get a chance to read it.
I bought it.
Did you
It's
like
just
it?
the
I was
first issue, right?
planning. Yeah, Joe Keaton, I believe it's
Keatage.
Yeah, I was planning on having it read before when we come back to talking about Tech Jacket.
Okay.
So sneak peek. Did you like it?
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
It was very kind of like
That got
like typical. I don't know. I was just really disappointed in the
Really?
art. I'm not. Who do we know who the artist was?
not a fan.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan. Well, I'm still gonna
I'll go
give
back
it a shot.
and read. I'll go back and read again because I like. It was one. It was. I mean, it's one issue. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, usually you can fly through one issue, and it took me 3 times to get through it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will give it a shot, and we'll talk more about it on the Tech Jacket episode. The other bit of news that we have is Ultimate Collection Volume 12 is finally out. It's done. Came out a few days ago. I love seeing everybody's pictures on Twitter. Everybody was posting like their pictures of their bookshelf with all 12 hardcovers lined up, and it's just exciting. It was delayed a little bit, but it's finally out. It's cool to have the entire End of All Things in your hands, So yeah, I don't know. You guys wanted to see it? Look through. I love the.
That's not what I was talking about.
What are you talking about? Oh, this.
No, I was talking about in the back of the hardcover.
Yeah, I wanted to see what's back there too.
The back of the hardcover. I had
your-
the sketch that I got at Boston Comic Con last year.
Oh, sweet.
And I had always wanted something in the back of these sketch covers, and I keep seeing. I've always seen Mike Barrett and Corey and everybody get sketches in the back, and I had never gotten anything done Invincible related by Ottley, other than our podcast logo, which obviously but it was super great to have that in the back. So that was fun. Great conversation, of course, between Ryan and Robert Kirkman, and even Corey Walker pops in a little bit at the end to talk about stuff in some, in the sketchbook section. But God, I love looking through this last issue. It's just beautiful.
The colors.
Yeah, it's great. I'm excited to reread Volume 12. Go through, reread the End of All Things. So yeah, that's it. Comic-Con is July 19th through 22nd. We still have one more episode of this podcast before Comic-Con hits. So
Which sucks because we know that there's going to be news.
we'll talk about that later. I don't know. We'll see. Another reminder is Ryan Ottley's Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 is out on July 11th, which is going to be
2 Wednesdays from now.
right before our next episode goes
Did
live.
we read that already?
We read the Free Comic Book Day.
Is the
issue.
other one longer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know if I don't know. Do you know this, TJ? If the Free Comic Book Day issue is
Half of it
is part of that issue?
I heard that it was somewhere online. I don't know if it's true.
See,
or
I
not.
thought it wasn't.
I thought it was.
Interesting. Well, maybe
I
it
hope
is.
it's
Maybe
not.
it isn't.
I want new shit.
Yeah. But that's gonna be out soon. Other than that, we're gonna jump into our main topic. I'm excited to talk about this. We haven't really talked about this at all. So, yeah, they announced the Invincible Animated Series. But before they did that, we got an email from Riley Day, a listener of the podcast, and he basically sent us an email talking about, he said, hey, check out this article. It was all about Amazon acquiring, the rights to different things. And later down, like buried in the article, was like, oh yeah, and we're close to closing the deal on getting the rights to an Invincible show.
One sentence.
Just one little
One sentence, and then it didn't even continue the topic. It just went on to other things.
And that was it. And so it was a great email from Riley. Thank you so much. That was cool to have. And so the three of us talked a little bit about that and how it's like, oh wow, this is actually like they might actually
Could
do
it be
something.
real?
Could it be
Yeah.
real? And so we were obviously going to bring that up on the next episode of the podcast and speculate.
Wasn't it like that day, like later that day?
No,
or
that
the
was
next day.
That was on the 18th. That I think Riley.
I thought it happened so fast. Like after he sent us that.
Oh, the 17th. He sent us that email on the 17th, and the news broke on the 20.
The 19th.
No, the 19th. Yeah. So it was really close. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna read it right from the Hollywood Reporter,
Which is also the ones that broke the news about the movie.
Yeah, I want to say
Reporter.
Skybound actually put out their own post, as opposed to just Hollywood Reporters. I'm not sure if Hollywood Reporter actually broke it or if they just covered it as well with other places. But I liked going back to them because they are the ones that broke about the movie and everything too. So it says Walking Dead creator sets first Amazon series animated comic book drama Invincible. I actually have a couple highlighted points from this article that I wanted to read to get us started here. Amazon Studios has handed out a straight-to-series order for an hour-long animated take on Invincible based on Kirkman's recently concluded comic book of the same name. Like the comic, the 8-episode adult animated Amazon series from Kirkman and Cory Walker revolves around Mark Grayson, a normal teenager, except for the fact that his father is the most powerful superhero on the planet. Shortly after his 17th birthday, Mark begins to develop powers of his own and enters into his father's tutelage. The series is suspenseful, action-filled, and emotionally packed, yet builds upon poignant and heartwarming moments of love, friendship, and humanity. It goes on to say Invincible was ranked among Hollywood Reporter's 100 Greatest Superhero Comics, was developed in April of 2017 as a feature film, which sources say is still active. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are set to write, direct, and produce the adaptation of the comic, with Kirkman on board via Skybound's first look deal with Universal Pictures. It goes on to say that Robert has the uncanny talent to predict the zeitgeist. We're incredibly excited to see him break the boundaries in an animated 1-hour format, said Sharon Yagato, head of the scripted genre of programming at Amazon Studios. In a world saturated with superhero fare, we trust Robert to subvert expectations while encapsulating a story filled with heart and adrenaline. We love his ambitious plan for the show and believe it will look like nothing else on television. Then the last thing I have here is a quote from Kirkman that says, I couldn't be more proud of the series Cory Walker, Ryan Ottley, and I did together for over 15 years. To know our characters will live on in multiple iterations in other media is almost too exciting to bear. What Amazon is allowing us to do in animated form is nothing short of groundbreaking, and I can't wait for our rabid fan base to experience it.
Why would it even be a question if the feature film was still a go?
I saw a lot of people ask that. A lot of people was like,
I did
so
too, and
what
I don't
does this mean
understand
for
why.
the show?
I don't understand why they would think that either. I think that this is actually smart to come out with it.
I think
to get people interested in the movie.
Yeah, I think the reason why people are asking that question is because we really haven't heard anything concrete in about a year about the animation, and over the year, I want to say
About the movie.
About the movie. So it's people just thinking, oh, whatever happened to that movie, and now they're saying an animated show. Is this replacing it? But no, it is cool to get that confirmation though that it's like, yeah, it's still happening. Yeah, even Seth Rogen tweeted out earlier. Somebody said, like, was talking to someone else about how, like, oh, you should read Invincible because and Seth Rogen's going to be making a movie if he's still working on it. And he replied to that guy and said he is. Like, it's still happening.
Live action.
The live action. Well, we assume the movie is live action. We don't know any details about it. I think it's safe to assume the movie's live action.
Huh.
So, what was it like when you guys found out? When you guys heard this news? Because
I don't know. It was
it late here?
surreal.
No,
I
it was middle of the day here.
Yeah.
Because it was late for me because it was like, I was getting ready for bed almost.
I guess I couldn't believe it. Like I kept reading it over and over again, like all the different Twitter like releases like this, and then there was like someone else who copied it and stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird because I don't think that I was excited hearing this news as I was the movie. Like when the movie got announced, we were all like, "Holy shit!" Like whatever. But now I am more excited for the animated show than I am the movie.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
So, our second episode of this podcast,
Dude, we talked about how it would be better in a Netflix fucking... Are you serious?
So this is what I was getting at. So we talked about how, like, of course, it would be great to see it as a movie, as a live-action movie. That'd be cool. But it'd be so difficult to do, and to be more faithful, you might want it to be animated, but you'd want it to be rated R, so maybe like an HBO or Netflix type thing where it can be adult-themed. That just happened. Like, that's happening.
That happened.
Not only are we getting the thing that we said might be better, but we're getting both.
That's what I said.
We're
Best
getting
of both
both.
worlds.
That's the thing.
We won. We won.
Oh yeah. The thing that's so cool about this is, it makes me more excited for the movie now because I really have no reservations, not as many reservations for the movie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited for the movie to shake it up and do something different and to be a little bit more.
But at least you know you're going to get what you want from the show.
But we'll get what we want from the animated show.
I feel like they can take liberties with the movie.
Yeah.
And I expect that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to take many liberties with the animated series.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm okay with that.
I love
okay
that.
with it. Yeah.
Exactly. I want
it's unrated.
Yeah.
Well, it's adult.
It's Amazon.
Yeah.
It's unrated. Everything on Netflix is unrated unless it's for kids. This is an adult unrated. It's not going to be rated at all.
Yeah.
So they can do everything. Everything.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about, like, how are they going to make Monster Girl work and, like, all those things that we were like, how the fuck are they going to do in the movie?
Which is cool because it's like, now we get that, but I'm also super excited to see how they tackle that, or even if they tackle that in the live action. Because you know what? That's fine. I can understand it because if this never happened, if this happened later on down the line and we saw the movie first and we were going into the movie or we saw the first trailer for the movie, I'd be like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for the movie. But, like, now I'm like, bring it on. Like, I'm excited to see the differences. Like, we always talk about, or I'm a strong advocate of the costume doesn't work well in live action. I can't see his mask working this way in live action. I think it's going to have to be goggles or something, like, you know, like headband strap goggles or something. But the kind of costume where the mask goes up to the hairline just doesn't seem to work in live action, in my opinion. So what? Now, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm excited about the changes that can be made for live action.
These are hour-long episodes, too.
8
of
hours.
them.
We have 8 hours
of Invincible animated.
That's so much. That's so much.
I have a story.
All right, TJ, what's your story?
I talked about this on the podcast, but it may have been, I think it might have been the episode that we didn't release.
Yeah, it was the gore episode that we didn't
that
release.
one?
I'm pretty sure it was at the end of that episode.
This is crazy.
This is nuts, though.
This is crazy.
So in that episode, before the animated series was released, I talked about how I went to what was it? Was it Niagara Falls Comic Con or Nickel City Comic Con? And there was an artist there that loved Invincible but hated the ending. And I talked to him like for a very extensive amount of time about the ending and about Invincible and everything like that.
He's crazy.
So he friend requested me on Instagram, and then like a week later, he sent me another Instagram post by another artist that works for DreamWorks, like animated, you know what I mean? And the picture was of Omni-Man, and it looked very animated series, and he took the picture from his computer screen. And then at the bottom he said, thought I'd do something new, just did this kind of for fun, kind of thing, right? And I commented back to him.
How long ago was this?
This was, I want to say like 2-3 weeks ago?
At least 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I commented back and I was like, that looks like an animated series. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That I literally screenshotted it. I have proof.
Yeah.
I said this and he sent it to me. Then it gets announced.
So I'm going to pause you right there, TJ.
Pause me.
Also in that Hollywood Reporter article is, quote, the series is produced by Kirkman's Skybound with Simon Recchiopa, who did Teen Titans, set as a showrunner. Kirkman, Recchiopa, David Alpert from The Walking Dead, and Catherine Winder, who did Star Wars The Clone Wars, are attached to executive produce. Justin and Chris Copeland, who worked on things like Ultimate Spider-Man, will serve as supervising directors.
Okay, so I didn't read that
Well, no.
when the
It was announced.
when it was announced. Okay, so my head's kind of reeling. I go back to his Instagram and I see that he days later posted the same type of thing of Invincible,
Very similar looking.
and I was like, I even posted on my personal Twitter account. I said I found him, and nothing was in his bio about Invincible or anything like that. And I tweeted, I was like, Chris Copeland, you did these last week, and I posted the pictures of it, the screenshots that he only posted on Instagram, not Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said they look very animated series, and then an animated series gets announced. Are we looking at the animated series? I copied Skybound, I copied Kirkman, I copied Ottley, I copied Chris Copeland. None of them responded to me, and I feel like one of them normally likes it, or you know what I mean? Like, none of them responded. An hour later,
Yeah.
Chris Copeland deletes them from his Instagram.
Yeah. And then puts up and then says somewhere, I forgot where I saw it, he said that none of the images on any of my accounts are from the Invincible animated series.
Then why would he take them down?
So,
But wait,
here's the thing.
one more thing.
Okay.
One thing that I
We're gonna
noticed-
get somebody fired, by the way.
No. We're gonna. No, it's okay.
One thing that I noticed too, before I noticed that he took them down, I tweeted at him what I said I tweeted, and then I went through his replies on Twitter, and someone
Other
said
people were saying that too.
Someone said no one said it.
Well, a
There
couple people were like, "Oh, drawing Invincible last week for fun, huh?" Like,
Oh, the
I saw
only
a
one,
couple
the only
of
one I saw was
No.
what he put when it was announced was I don't know, he put something like, I can't remember what he said.
it was something
Someone-
along
no,
the lines.
someone-
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Dot dot dot. Kind of like he knew. But then someone tweeted at him and said, "Great job, man.
Doing big things."
Glad to see you're coming up in the world." Yeah. And then he said thanks. So I was like, oh, it's fucking him. And then he deleted it off his Instagram. And then sure
But
enough,
they probably
it's him.
congratulated him as being
So that's the thing.
a supervising
He's-
director.
Right now, him and his brother are just attached as supervising directors. They're not storyboard artists as of right now. They're not. Him and his brother do work as storyboard artists. I've looked this up on some really cool stuff. One of the first
before we get to that, are you saying that there's a possibility that what I saw is not?
Yes, absolutely.
Then why
Here's
would he delete it?
Here's why. Because he is attached to this project, and now everything he posts could potentially be that. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden, you take it and throw it out there like, this is the animated series.
Fake
and people,
news kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people run with it. IGN or somebody looks at his Twitter or his Instagram and says, oh, this is it. Here's the first screens. And then the message is out of control. Skybound doesn't get to reveal it.
Right.
Nobody gets to report on
And
it.
honestly,
because
I don't
that's
want
it.
I don't
So
want that
even-
for Skybound. Like I
Oh
don't
no,
want
like that's what I
to
mean.
ruin everything.
That's why like maybe he is working on it. Maybe he's just the director. Maybe he's a storyboard artist. It doesn't matter. Either way, he drew those maybe just for fun because he's been thinking about it a lot lately, and now he doesn't want the message to get mixed signals.
I totally understand
get that.
And honestly,
Yes.
like
Whether or
I
not,
don't-
yeah. Either way, the art was fucking awesome.
It
whether
looks
or not,
amazing.
Yeah, whether or not that is the artwork
if
doesn't
it
matter.
is Omni-Man's costume, I love it. I
Yeah.
fucking love it.
Either way,
it's very
it's-
simplistic.
Yeah.
It might not be.
Yeah.
But if it is, I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
I think it looks sick.
Yeah, but we're still excited for when it is officially revealed. Regardless, you know what I mean. Chris Copeland, however, did one of his first storyboard revisionist right here on his IMDb.
Get the fuck out of here, Batman Under the Red Hood.
Yeah,
Which is
one thing
we agree the best
Animated
Batman movie.
maybe the best animated
movie.
DC.
maybe the best animated superhero movie of all time.
It's awesome. The thing that I've obviously, since this was announced, I've been trying to research. I know very little when it comes to storyboard artists and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to, like, for example, one of these DC movies, or even these DC TV shows or something like that, it's multiple storyboard artists working on it. So it's not necessarily one artist, their style. And so, like, for example, Chris Copeland has worked on all these different movies here, and they all have different art styles. So that doesn't necessarily mean, like, oh, we can watch Justice League versus Teen Titans, and that's what the Invincible Animated is going to look like.
Because he's a storyboard artist, which is essentially director. You know what I mean? Like, he's mapping out, like, the sequence of the scene, not actually illustrating the individual, like,
but that's what I mean.
shots.
Again, we don't know a lot about this. Sorry for being ignorant on this, but in the credits there isn't, like, illustrator. That is the illustrator. Those are the artists. Storyboard artists are the artists.
Okay. I may be on my phone, but I'm looking up what exactly a storyboard artist is. So, quick definition: a storyboard artist, sometimes called a story artist or visualizer, creates storyboards for advertising agencies and film productions. So a storyboard artist visualizes stories, sketches, frames of the story. So does that mean, like, they used his storyboard to pitch what Invincible would be?
No, I think
either way, he's not the storyboard artist on Invincible. As far as we know, they're supervising directors.
Yeah.
So right now we don't know. Yeah, right now we don't know
past.
anyone on the on the storyboard artist.
In animation, projects are often pitched on a basis of storyboards alone, and storyboard artists continue to work throughout the production to develop particular sequences.
Mm-hmm.
After a sequence is edited, the director and/or storyboard artist and the team may need to rework the sequence as it becomes evident that the changes need to be made for timing and story.
But he's not a storyboard artist.
But he's a storyboard director.
No. He's a supervising director.
He's just a supervisor.
Oh, so
that's what I mean.
not.
He was on Red Hood.
But he did storyboard, like,
stuff, yes.
that's the majority of what his work is.
Which maybe he will be on Invincible. They're just not announcing who the storyboard artists are at this point. They're not announcing anything else, as far as how it looks or anything. So, but it's just interesting. That is interesting what happened, with those images.
That it was a weird coincidence that he sent that to me before it was even announced. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Other things that are that I saw was East of West and Transhuman, which are also Image Comics, are also being done by Amazon.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I thought that was interesting. They also, where was it? I liked what they said at the bottom of that Hollywood Reporter article. They talked about how Amazon is looking for its own thing to have, and this is something that we talked about all those years ago, and in our second episode. Netflix has a suite of Marvel dramas. The CW schedule is littered with DC Comics fare. FX has the X-Men take Legion and Why the Last Man in the works.
Oh, I want to see that.
Hulu has The Runaways. ABC has Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fox has Gotham and The Gifted. Epix has a Batman prequel Pennyworth, and HBO has Watchmen in the works. And we also know that DC is now doing their service, which was announced today. Mm-hmm. But other than that, Amazon,
that was announced a while ago. Long time ago.
They just put out details today.
Yeah. Titans is going to be sick.
It looks cool.
I can't believe that Alfred Pennyworth is getting his own fucking show. That is the worst.
That's funny.
That's Pennyworth.
Is it really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Amazon is a huge company. And
Prime actually taking off.
And now it looks like they're cornering the Image kind of comics like market.
Honestly,
so cool.
I feel like if I were Amazon, I'm like, I got to go after something right now. I feel like my top two would be Invincible and Saga. Saga, I think, is bigger than Invincible.
Oh my god, if they got Saga too. Bill, did you read the newest issue of Saga?
No. How do I not know when this shit comes out?
I gotta catch up. I like to read Saga.
We always talk about it.
Like 6 times.
How you can't not. If you're caught up, you have to fucking know what's next.
I like waiting.
It's way better to read as a graphic novel.
Another interesting thing that I think you guys would like to hear or whatever is that how Seth Rogen is also doing the live action adaptation of The Boys, which is a comic book by Garth Ennis, the same guy that did Preacher.
Just do Invincible.
Him and Evan Goldberg are doing that.
Stop doing things.
That The Boys, I think, is a live action show. Anyways, that's on Amazon. That's an Amazon original. So Seth Rogen is making a comic book adaptation live action show for Amazon. Like, it seems like all these minds are in the same room, all working together and stuff, which I really like. Like, Kirkman has a deal with Amazon. Seth Rogen is working closely with Amazon, who's working closely with Kirkman. You know what I mean?
I have a question.
Go for it.
Do you think that means that the movie and the animated series could be connected?
That was my next question.
Also, The Rock and Zac Efron were in Baywatch together, and The Rock and Jeffrey Dean Morgan were in Rampage together.
So there is a
they
connection.
all know each other.
Which is out on DVD,
Which
actually,
would be
or digital.
Mark Grayson, Zac Efron, obviously Alien the Alien for The Rock, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Omni-Man. Come on.
Wait,
Make it fucking happen.
Oh, yeah.
Negan.
So, would you guys want the movie to be at all tied into the animated series?
Not at all.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, just like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. What if certain characters look completely different or act completely different? Like, I don't think
Unless it's animated.
The movie?
The last thing they did was Sausage Party.
The movie will not be animated.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have people, like, have them be expected to watch the show to get fully, like, is the movie's gonna have to have an origin and everything, right?
I would have...
Didn't they, when they announced it, didn't they say live action? I feel like they did.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I swear they haven't actually come out and said that. But
I swear they did. Think of all the talk.
The way
that... No, you're right. Yeah, because all the time they talk about casting and everything. Yeah, it's
the way that I see it is that it's kind of like how Spider-Man has an animated show going on at all times.
Yeah,
and then there's a Spider-Man movie, which is completely unrelated to it.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
But it's just weird because I mean, Spider-Man has had so many different stories. Ultimate, like, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. There's different stories that you can do to do an animated show, and then there's also something different that you can do.
Can you imagine if this is successful? We can get Astounding Wolfman. We can get all those other tie-ins and stuff like that. Tech Jacket.
But what I'm trying to say is like it's like if they did a Spider-Man, like the movie, but then it was the same exact story for the animated show.
Yeah, I don't think.
But that's what this is gonna be. Like, how can they do Invincible? Because
I think the movie's gonna be that different.
You think the?
And I honestly think, and let's talk about this real quick. Then, I honestly think the movie's gonna come out well over a year after the show. So think about it that way.
Over a year.
Where do you guys want to see the show coming out?
This year,
realistically,
this fucking October or September.
That'd be fucking cool.
It's absolutely going to.
What are you asking?
There's going to be a trailer.
Action movie?
No. When do you think the show will be out?
Yeah.
This year.
I'm gonna say no chance in hell this year.
You're fucking out of your mind, dude.
I'm gonna say
you're out of your mind.
I'm gonna say spring of next year, and which is only about 4 months after you, 6 months.
TJ, what do you think?
So I think that saying no way in hell this year is a strong statement. I don't believe it'll be this year.
It's a bold statement, Ryan.
I don't believe it'll be this year, but I don't think you're crazy. I'm thinking maybe January.
Yeah, I'm thinking February, March.
Yeah.
Man, what if it's like 2 years, guys? We're so off.
Okay, here's what's going to happen.
They're already like halfway through it.
Here's what's going to happen.
We don't know that, and it's been confirmed that that's not the case.
Yeah, but I mean...
Brian Huntington said that no episodes are done.
What?
Yeah. So none are
Who's
finished.
that guy?
VP at Skybound. We talked to him all the time.
He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks because I was thinking like the fact that they would have gotten an Amazon deal, that they would have had to have pitched a pilot.
You know what? Let me bring up something.
Go, TJ.
The Last Airbender. We would wait like a bajillion years between seasons because
animation
it's animated.
Takes
it takes forever.
Long, guys. It takes so long.
Maybe I take that back.
Yeah, dude. I mean, animation takes a long time.
Longer.
I don't think so. Depending on how long, do you think that this was in the works way before Amazon picked it up? Like they were working on a series. I agree with that. They were working on an unrated, like adult animated series, and then they showed it to a bunch of different networks, and Amazon is who picked it up.
Yes, I do.
Think of all the times that Kirkman says like, "There's stuff in the works, stuff is coming."
Yeah,
it's not dead.
So you don't think there's at least a pilot done, and they would release this show before it's finished.
My thing is,
they'd have maybe 2 episodes to finish.
I've talked about this back in previous episodes. I bring it up a lot. In one of the interviews that Kirkman did for Oblivion Song, they talked about Invincible, and he said something is you'll keep keep listening. You're going to hear something from us, Invincible-wise, somewhere around San Diego Comic-Con time, ...
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this was planned to be San Diego.
Here's my thing.
Trailer.
It goes... No, it piggybacks on what
They're
TJ...
going to show a trailer.
I thought about it.
This piggybacks right on what TJ just said. I don't think I think that Amazon article or whatever about them acquiring things moved up their announcement a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they might have waited.
I think so too. I think it was originally planned for San Diego and they moved it up.
But that's the thing. I mean, Skybound doesn't have like a panel or anything like that. They do like their show throughout the day and talk about stuff.
And he talks about Invincible.
It's just
Last
you
year
think he would have just been like, oh yeah, so we got an animation.
So what is he going to do? He's going to...
No, I mean, last year they talked about Invincible. They showed the the cover for the final issue.
They had Q&A.
Wait, was that San Diego?
That was New York.
They do love New York Comic Con.
That was New York. My theory then is this: nothing at San Diego Comic Con this year. New York Comic Con, we get a teaser for the animated series.
Out of your fucking mind.
So Ryan, are you, with that statement you made? Mm-hmm. Nothing at San Diego Comic Con this year for the animated series or for Invincible as a whole.
Nothing for Invincible as a whole. I think New York Comic Con.
Crazy.
I think at New York Comic Con we're gonna get a teaser for the animated series, the announcement of a new action figure, and then like a tiny detail about the movie, like the script's done or something like that.
I disagree,
and that's it.
Here's
that's
what,
it.
Since
and
we're
that's
taking,
a lot, and I think that's a lot.
Since we're taking bets,
I want more. Don't do that to me, Kirkman. Give me something, Sean.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
Here we go. I will double down on the fact that
what are we betting?
We never go through with our bets.
We have so many pizzas.
That we will see a teaser or footage of the animated series.
I think at most,
San Diego,
if we see anything at most, it would be
just a screenshot.
You just said at most. Just said at most.
At most, it would be like him flying real quick, and then a logo.
That's
and
footage.
Then like something quick.
That's footage.
Yes, but it's not going to be like a trailer. You
know what? I would almost count that as like a teaser. That is a teaser.
But less than a teaser.
If it shows animated, if it shows anything drawn animated as like not just a logo, but like
I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's a real. I'll double down on it.
Can you imagine like if this is gonna be with it, like when this stuff starts actually happening, we're gonna be like freezing the trailer and coming in here and talking about it.
It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be nothing.
It's gonna be a blur.
But do you realize that they've had probably at least 4 months, 3 months, let's say. If they knew that they were doing the Amazon deal, they were doing an animated series, San Diego Comic Con's coming up, they want to make a big fucking deal about this. You don't think that they would just create something like a teaser?
I'd like to think that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could do that.
Yeah.
They could let's spend 4 weeks and create a San Diego Comic Con teaser for the Invincible animated show. Well, that's not going to be in the show. That's not.
I don't think
anything
a company
related.
would spend 4 weeks to pay things just for a teaser. Like it would be.
Why not?
I think they would make a teaser out of footage that's going to be in the show.
I will say that with this being Amazon and Amazon and not really having shit right now,
they are gonna fucking.
They need to produce the motherfucking shit out of this thing.
I really hope they give them the money.
They're not going to.
They absolutely will.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, they will.
I think they're gonna fail in production and producing it.
I don't.
And advertising it, I should say.
Think so?
It's got to be fucking. I want it to be everywhere. It's Amazon, and no one knows what Invincible is. If it was Batman, they wouldn't need to advertise it.
The problem is everyone knows Netflix is coming out with original content, and now Hulu. Remember when Hulu first started? They're like, Hulu's trying to do what Netflix did, but they have like a bunch of fucking shows on Hulu now that everybody watches. What's that one? The Handmaid's
Tale.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
So Amazon, no one really counts on Amazon Prime, but they have that new Jack Reacher show.
But that's why they need to because I feel like I saw like a couple things on Amazon, or there was a show or maybe 2 shows on Amazon that I wanted to watch, and I just never watched it because it's Amazon, and it's like. I saw the trailer. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that, and I just don't, because I don't see it anymore. I watched the trailer one time, and I never see the trailer again. I'm not reminded of it. Like you got to advertise.
I hear a lot
That's
about
the show. Sneaky Pete.
I hear a lot
That's
about
the show
Sneaky
I wanted
Pete.
to watch.
They've got a lot of shows on.
Yeah, Transparent is an original that's won a dozen awards. I always hear about that. What else? There was Marvelous Miss Maisel is really good. I've watched some of that. Katie's watched that show.
I like her.
Yeah.
What is she from?
She's from Running Scared and Lost.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think.
And Bates Motel.
That's her.
Yeah.
The mom, the crazy mom.
Yeah.
Really?
Norma.
The Big Sick is an Amazon original movie, which was awesome.
That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. Yeah.
Manchester by the Sea was nominated for Best Picture. That is an Amazon original.
Oh shit, that's an amazing
Guys,
movie.
Amazon has the money and they have the ability to make something awesome.
But they haven't perfected TV yet. Like Sneaky Pete, I want to watch it, but I'm like, I haven't watched it.
Well, you don't know. You haven't seen it.
Right. It could be amazing.
You
But interest me. Like, I want to see that shit everywhere. I want Invincible on billboards. I want money. I want everything going into this.
But think about
Make it happen.
Here's the problem. How much does Amazon Prime cost a year?
I don't know. It used to be $100. I don't remember.
Okay, it's more than that now.
I think it's more.
So you need, in order to watch Amazon's original content, you need to have an Amazon Prime account, which you get 2-day shipping and all that stuff. But it's expensive as shit.
But think about it. You can sign on to Amazon to buy something, and they can have ads for it and stuff like that. That's huge. Like that's
Amazon is a huge company, and they have. I mean, obviously, all these things are like season what? What's transparent? Season 6, 7,
7 or something. Yeah.
I want to get more into animated.
So
I have a friend at work who I tell about like that we do this podcast and that you should read this book. He has children. Mm-hmm. Should I tell him to watch the first episode like with his kids?
No, I don't think so. It's adult. No, it's for adults.
Think so?
Yes, this is for adults. So
I want everyone to love it.
Yeah. I don't know. You were just saying that you want to get into more animated stuff, or
what?
You said you want to get people into it.
I just want everyone to be into Invincible.
Mm-hmm. What do you like, Bill? You tweeted out that you want what's his name from
Will
Friedle.
Does he still do stuff?
Will Friedle. Yeah, he does. He does a lot of voice acting.
He does. That's what he does now. He is Eric from Boy Meets World, but he's also Terry McGinnis
from
as Batman Beyond.
Yeah. I will say Skybound does things called Skybound Insiders where they like they interview someone, they talk about, someone interesting, whether it's be in the comic book industry, video game industry, TV, movies, and stuff like that. They did an interview with Phil Lamar, who is a voice actor who's done like tons of people.
Millions of Futurama. He does Futurama, the Jamaican
Samurai
guy.
Jack, all that stuff.
Mad TV.
And in that episode, this was like a year ago. In that episode, they talked about how they talked about a potential Invincible animated series and Phil Lamar is a huge Invincible fan, and he said he would love to voice the Immortal, which I thought would be cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Also,
be really cool.
Invincible fan, huge Invincible fan that went out when the movie was announced, saying that he wanted to be in the movie and all this stuff like that. Who is also a voice actor, Drake Bell.
Yeah.
So
we talked about Drake Bell being Invincible
because he wanted to be it. He put himself out there saying, "I love Invincible." I watched an interview with him because I was trying to hear his voice to see if he would be a good Mark. And in this interview, they were interviewing him about Ultimate Spider-Man. And they're like, "So do you read comics?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I love comics." And like, "What's your favorite comic?" And he's like, "Oh, Invincible." And in this like Marvel video about Spider-Man, he's talking all about Invincible. Like he's a real fan.
As Invincible live action, he would not work. Voice wise, I would love Drake Bell.
Really?
I love that voice.
He did Spider-Man.
I think his voice
he was
to be a little
Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man.
When I hear Ultimate Spider-Man, though, it's a little high and too kiddish. But I think if he did a different voice,
and he knows the character,
he knows the character.
Like here's the thing,
would kill it.
I love Will Friedle. I love Batman Beyond, but I feel like he's a little too grown up. Like I don't know, like a little too dark, like a little too Batman.
The Amazon,
a little too deep.
Or the Hollywood Reporter article clarified, like this is a 17-year-old in high school. Like we are going to get that.
Right.
So that'd be cool. Any other characters that popped to your mind? We don't know a ton of voice actors or anything, but I thought that was interesting.
I think it's definitely worth saying Greg Miller.
He threw his hat in the ring.
He
for
wants to
Alan.
be Alan the Alien, which is funny because Gary Whitta posted something on Twitter like last week, like the day after it was announced for the animated series. And Gary Whitta posted a picture of Greg, and he's like, Greg Miller is cooking wings up for us. And Robert Kirkman randomly replied to that and said, Alan a day's work.
Yeah,
Alan a day's work. Yep. Thank you. Alan a
week's work.
Yep. Oh, Bill, don't.
I don't know if they understand what we're trying to say.
Say it again, TJ.
Alan a day's work.
Yeah.
But obviously he's saying all in a day's work. And then Greg Miller is like, don't you tease me, Kirkman. And he goes, oh, you mean that typo? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just funny, I would love it if Greg even got just a background role or, just like a random character or something like that. Hell.
He's got to. He's been such a champion for him.
I know 3 huge Invincible fans that have pretty good quality mics that would love to just be background people talking in the school or anything like that. So if anybody's listening and would like those 3 huge Invincible fans to just be random people talking in the background, let me know and I'll get you in touch with them.
Couldn't you even see The Rock, like, just doing the voice
Oh,
acting?
Yeah. But back to the whole Invincible podcast doing voice acting.
Yeah,
though.
right.
Like,
Just be somebody. I just want to be somebody in the classroom. Just somebody in the background talking. Just like while Mark goes up to Eve.
What was that?
And or
So,
just
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
like a reanimator attacks the college and
Yeah.
some kid gets knocked out.
You could do the Spider-Man fall noise,
Oh,
like
no,
someone
no,
not getting
no.
knocked.
I can't believe I never caught that before when you showed me that.
it's all I think about because it's
can't-
always in my head. It's not even something that people like typically make fun of. It's just something I thought was terrible in the movie.
Ugh,
Even as
so
a child,
weird.
it's so bad.
All
We're
right.
talking about the Green Goblin fight at the end of the
First Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
All right. We got an email from Jordan Gilbert, who's like the unofficial 4th member of this podcast. Holy shit.
He's the 4th chair.
The 4th chair. Jordan says, hey guys, I'm sure you're excited about this news as well as everyone else. I just had a few speculations and I was wondering what you guys might think the show will go, where you guys think the show will go. I saw that it will be an 8-episode run, each episode being an hour long. Now, is that a single 1-season, 8-episode run and that's it? Or 8 episodes the first season and then continuing on? I really hope it's the latter, of more seasons as everyone else. Lastly, do you guys think the first season would lead up to Nolan and Mark fighting and him going to Thraxa in the finale? What do you think is the end game for the first season? Maybe Mark going to Thraxa? Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but I can't contain my excitement. We're still getting our live action as well, but I won't hold my breath for that, and by that, I mean it's going to be a couple years before we get something official solid news. Love, Jordan. 100% Jordan as far as the movie goes. Like, I love that we are going to most likely, hopefully, have this to tide us over before we get anything from the movie.
So that's a good question as to like what
I'm
we're.
glad you asked that, Jordan.
Oh, are we gonna write down our ideas?
I just want to we don't have to write things down. I just wanted to have a visual tool for us. This is just a piece of paper with episode 1 through 8 written down on it. And just to get an idea,
It's gonna.
8
but
now-
here's the thing: it's gonna matter of. I was just about to say
Well,
this
yeah.
in answer to his question: is how are they gonna format the show? Are there gonna be fillers?
I don't think
Or not?
Yeah.
Is it going to follow 100%, or are they going to add a bunch of stuff? Are they going to add random episodes that we didn't see?
Are they leaving it open for other seasons? I think it's safe to assume this is going to be left open for other seasons, right?
I would 100% agree.
I would hope so, but I'm not. I don't think that's a guarantee.
I don't think
Yeah, but
Amazon would
TJ, do you
invest
think-
in one season.
Do you think that episode 1 is origin and episode 8 is end of all things?
It's possible,
Really?
I totally disagree with that.
and I don't think
What if
that
it's huge? Then they're losing out
I don't
on-
think that season 8 has to be end of all things. I think they could end it all.
No,
on,
you mean episode 8. Oh, that's what I'm saying to you, though. Like, they could plan on the Nolan fight being the end of the show. Maybe it never gets picked up again, and that's just the way it ends.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But for argument's sake, let's say they're planning, 3, 4 seasons, whatever, down the road. It doesn't really matter. Where would you guys like to see the first season, the 8 episodes, end? Now, I initially, that's why I grabbed the compendium for you guys. You could flip through.
So, right off the bat, if they're gonna be following the comic, I feel like off the top of my head, without even opening up the compendium, I kind of agree with Jordan Gilbert because I feel like a full season has to tell a story, has to tell one complete story, and then season 2 would tell a completely different story. So there would have to be like a looming,
but that's not how Invincible
entity.
is, though.
But I think it is like that. So I think the first season would follow, his father, Omni-Man and everything. And there would be obviously a bunch of other villains that are between issue 1 and 27. But I think that it could end with him going to Thraxa, and seeing his father again. And that's where it ends. And seeing that he has a child. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. My initial read on whatever the first season would be was it ending with the Nolan fight or something. To that, I would
8 one-hour episodes.
But that's the thing.
I don't want it to be drug out that much.
That's what pulls me out. Is that 8 hours is a really long time to get to that point. But here's the thing. The thing we always talk about with the movie is we only have an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever for the movie.
Exactly.
You're not going to love the character. You're not going to feel that betrayal. We
That has to be.
have time. So what if episode 7 is the fight? What if episode 6 ends with the fist through Immortal? Episode 5 is killing the Guardians. You know what I mean? So we have episodes 1 through 4
to be like the high school
to
bomber.
be the build up.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
The bomber's not gonna.
I think it's gonna be the Reaniman.
Reaniman would be interesting.
Like that.
Having that instead.
Listen,
Yeah.
there's no way that they're gonna give us 4 episodes without something crazy happening.
But now here's the thing, though.
No
we
way.
can still have Teen Team still to go in here.
Yeah, I understand,
We
but,
can
like,
have the
they have
Flaxons coming in here. Nolan getting sent to another dimension. Mark having to learn his powers without his dad.
But an animated series they don't have 11 issues to go, you know what I mean? Like, they have to, right from the first episode, be like, we're fucking crazy. Like,
I agree.
this shit is fucking nuts.
Which is why
they can't tell that, they can't say how fucking crazy we are with, like, the bomber,
like,
you know what I mean? Like, him learning,
I agree
typical
100%.
reboot.
Which is why I'm torn with these first handful of episodes. But do you want? Well, maybe Nolan kills the Guardians in the 3rd episode instead. You know what I mean? Give 1 and 2.
That's what
I can do.
yeah.
I can get behind that. So then, episode 1, I'd love it. Like, episode 1 starts and it's just like, it starts with the telling of the story of Viltrum. You know what I mean? Get that out of the way. It's a peaceful civilization. I came to this planet, and it's him telling Mark as a boy. You know what I mean? Like the story. And then episode 1 just mostly origin, but we have to have some. Like you said, TJ, it has to hook people. So what, do we get the Maulers? Because Bill and I are saying, like, I don't think the teacher is the bomber. The
that's
bombing,
a little, it's
a little, I don't know. It's a little dated feeling.
It's a little 90s,
Yes.
Yeah,
like Buffy. It feels like Buffy.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
If it was Buffy, then I'd be happy. Just bring Buffy into it. Buffy animated series.
So what do you guys see being the villain other than Nolan in the first season?
That'd be tough.
Like Mauler, Flaxons, like Reaniman. I like the idea of Reaniman.
I think it would be the Reaniman, because
it's personal to Mark.
Right.
It could involve the teen team because.
But think of how crazy.
And that could be gory.
Starts. Yeah, I guess it could be Reaniman.
I like the idea of the second to last episode being the fight with Mark and Nolan.
Yeah, but
and then
in the compendium, like, after that, nothing really happens.
Nothing really happens for a while, and then that's why I don't know where the final episode is. Then, like, is it just him getting the job with Cecil, and then like I think that's where it is. I want the final episode to be the introduction to Angstrom Levy.
Yes,
and then season 2 would be Angstrom Levy and Oliver and Mark seeing Nolan again towards the later half of the season, and then season 3 would be Angstrom bringing all the multiple universe Invincibles and Conquest.
So what's weird,
can you imagine?
Yeah.
You know what I'm looking forward to is like in episode 3 something little happens and then they don't fucking talk about it for like 4 episodes. You're like, who was that guy? And then you're like, oh shit, it was Angstrom Levy. Like, or you know how they always do that? They're like, in the comic they'll touch on something
Kirkman
small
does
and then they don't talk about
and
it. This is perfect format for that. Ooh, I hit the mic. But this is the perfect way to do that.
Yeah.
We've been saying it needs to be animated.
It needs to be a TV show too. Even if it was a live action TV show, it'd be tougher. But like live action, like episodic, is the way to go with this. This is perfect.
I'm gonna say it.
What?
I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna do us all a favor. Are you ready for this magic you're about to see?
Go for it.
So we said we wanted a movie. They gave us a live action movie. Then we said,
I know it's coming.
Then we said, that's cool. That's awesome. But it would probably be better as an animated. They gave us the fucking animated. So I'm going to say it. That's cool. But it'd be really cool as a fucking video game.
Here's the thing, dude. I don't know if it
give it to me.
Work.
I said it now. So it's all thanks to us that this is happening.
If I had
that I said it, we will get a video game.
If I had to choose between out of video game, movie, TV show, animated, and a novel, we got the 2 that I want most.
Of course.
You know, video game is going to be awesome if that ever happens, and then there's still the potential of a novel too. Remember the whole book deal thing?
Yeah.
Like that could still happen too.
It's definitely gonna.
But even if those 2 don't happen, like we got the 2 best things.
Definitely.
Oh, it's so
cool.
I
would love them.
Let's see what some comments on Twitter. I loved everybody like tagged us when the news got announced, like freaking out. That was awesome. CT57, I'm so pumped. Oh my god, I don't think I'm processing this right.
He said, "I can't wait to hear what the Invincible podcast thinks."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a sweetie pie.
Let's see. Thomas, yes.
Oh no, that was pizza.
Yeah.
Digital Pizza said that.
Let's see. CT57, I'm so ecstatic about it. What I'm most looking forward to is seeing how they stylize it. For earlier episodes, will the visuals reflect Corey or Ryan's styles more? Personally, I think they'll use Ryan's for consistency unless they do a hybrid and make the show distinct. It would rock. It really depends on how faithful they want to go with it, but I think they'll find a visual middle ground that's fresh and new as well as familiar. I'd scream and die on the spot happily. Again, that was Connor, our friend CT57.
So, can we talk a little bit
Twitter.
about what style they would go with? Because I'm so tired of the Eastern, like,
the DC animated?
the anime kind of art style.
You think it's going to be more...
I hope they don't do that. Like, I hope they don't...
You don't think it's going to be more anime?
I really hope it's not.
For some reason, I'm picturing it being anime. Maybe
That's
because
what
those
I
images,
think too. That's what I think too.
I still think those images are.
If those images
I'm
are
not
real, I
buying
think
it.
it's
I
going
think
to
they're real.
I don't think those images are anime though. That looks more like American.
I think that they're like Last Airbender. It's like American anime. Like anime is Japanese, but it's like American style anime.
Yeah.
I'd be
Like
fine
what's
with that.
like
I
what's
don't
a,
want it to
like
be
what's
anime,
a recent
but
animated cartoon that you guys have seen?
the animated Batman. That was straight up anime.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the Batman.
It's like Dragon Ball Z. Let's just say that. 'Cause
I
that's
don't
anime.
want that.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't
either.
want Batman Ninja where it's like streaks on the screen and stuff like that. Like
I'm
I
curious
don't.
to see how much of it will be digital. You know what I mean? Like, I think these days most of it would have to be, right?
I think they might
so, too.
do all, like, why not? Because Kirkman even said that what they're doing is revolutionary in terms of animated
I took that
series.
as them letting them be graphic,
Like, super
violent,
rated R.
You want,
like,
yeah.
like language, like do what they want. I took that as that. Which
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's both, maybe it's
Same.
one or the other. Digital Pizza said, "How could you not be excited for this? I have so many questions. Like, will it be 3D or 2D animation? Are they going to strictly follow the comic story, or will they throw in some new stories for fans to keep guessing? Regardless, I can't wait for it. Now we just need a game announcement."
I mean, 3D or 2D, I can honestly say I don't care. I don't
That's
care.
what I mean. Like, Bill, you're talking about like whether it's Eastern or a little bit more modern. Like, what
I want it to be 2D.
I don't want it to be. I don't
3D.
want it to be like that corny like anime.
It's not
So
gonna-
I agree with you on that. But
It's not going to look like, what was it, Reboot? Or like Beast Wars? Like, it's not
fucking
going to look
reboot.
like...
Yeah.
Do you know that they're rebooting Reboot?
They already did.
No,
it's
they-
on Netflix. It's a
man.
movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. Because it like takes live action,
Yeah.
and then
Really?
they go into the computer and they have avatars.
I
and
saw
stuff
the
like
trailer.
That. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
on
going to look
Netflix.
that up after this. Matt Shipperly over on Twitter says, "So excited about the news. I'm really curious of how it will all relate to the film in the works. Invincible dipping its toes into all the mediums, comics, film, TV, and we even have the little mobile game. Can't wait for this." Digital Pizza says, "I also hope Invincible gets a rocking theme song that gets stuck in your head or something iconic. Like the
That
old
would be
Superman
sick.
Christian- Think about that. We're going to have background music. We're going to have music for Invincible.
This is one thing I wanted to talk about. I do not want an opening credit. I just want
Do you want it to just
Invincible.
be Invincible?
Invincible animated series.
You mean you don't want the One Punch Man? Like,
Oh my
like
gosh.
3-minute rock
Don't
opera?
even.
Oh, it's so good.
One Punch Man.
I
dude.
do
When
not
is
want
season
an
2
opening
coming
season.
out?
I feel
They're
like
still working on it. Again, animated takes forever.
Oh, you know what?
with Invincible being them being so like, I mean, we know these characters, we love these characters. I feel like no matter what music they put to an opening credit scene, it's gonna be corny. I don't want it. I don't want an opening credit scene.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't know. We'll see. Mitch Krasen says, "Now that we have both, if only one gets to tell the origin story, which do you think it will be, and which do you hope it will be?"
It will be both.
But yeah,
If
I think
only
we all
one?
agree that it will be both, and they'll be very different, or at least pretty different. But if, like Mitch is asking, if it can only be one, if only
Animated.
Movie.
one animated,
No.
You-
Because the
you
movie you
can't-
can start as a superhero. He could start as Invincible.
yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Like
he
the
could.
movie,
Well, yeah,
we don't
he
need
could,
to see
but
him
we
like go
still
through,
need
like
the-
throw the
the
trash
origin.
bag and stuff like that.
When it comes to, I don't really care for origin movies. I feel like Spider-Man movies, he should start out as Spider-Man in the first one. First Batman, just be Batman.
Yeah.
No one knows Invincible. They need to know it. And more people are going to watch the movie than they are the animated series.
But there really isn't much. It's just
It's
he is the son.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah, he's the son of the greatest superhero. He also has the same powers. Done.
Yeah.
Like this is just the world they live in.
It's 2 pages
Well,
of comic.
what do you consider an origin?
That would be it.
What is
That's like- that's
Spider-Man's origin?
The
Do you consider...
Uncle dying, get bit by the spider.
Okay. So
Practicing
those are the
powers.
two things, right? So whether you're saying that Peter Parker's origin is getting bit by a spider, or Uncle Ben dying.
Both.
So it's both. So if it's both, then you have to say that Invincible's origin is the fact that he's the son of Omni-Man, but also that Omni-Man fucking turns evil. I disagree. That's his devastation.
I think you're half right. I think it's the fact that he's the son of the world's greatest superhero, and also the fact that he just hit puberty or whatever, and it came late. And he just was. It just came out about, and it was not a big deal to his family. Like that is a big part of his origin, like him getting his powers, is that it was no big deal. It's like, oh yeah, I finally got him. All right, cool.
And that's what makes Invincible kind of cool.
Yeah,
and I think it would be quick no matter what, is because there isn't much of an origin. It's just he got his power. He woke up one day and he has his powers.
But in the animated show, I think it'd be cool to see him before he gets it. Whereas the movie, I don't think we really need it as much.
I do.
That's all. I mean, yeah. Great question though, Mitch.
I think all your points that you brought up regarding the movie is the exact same as the animated series.
Oh yeah, it could go either way, but he's just asking what we'd rather see.
Actually, I think that even goes more to the point that I would want to see him not have an origin in the animated series, because I want to get right to the fucking action. Like I said, they have to make a point early on.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I can't see the first episode ending with him flying and saying, I want to try that, I'm invincible.
Exactly.
You know? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll get it early on in the episode, and then it's him with this crappy costume trying to, like, fighting Mauler or something, you know? Mm-hmm. Meryl over on Twitter says it's going to rock so hard. Let's see. There's a lot of people talking about Ultimate Collection Volume 12. And then we actually got a comment over from Ryan Ottley. Ryan Ottley said, I want to see it be true to the source, but room to play. And I want superhero action fights to blow minds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's straight from Ryan Ottley. Like, that's what he demands.
I disagree.
No, I want it. No, I want the action fights to suck. No. So yeah.
So there it is.
Bernardo says I want a lot of action. Oh man, like can you imagine the action scenes, the potential? It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. That's all I've got on the animated series, guys. Anything else?
Not really. How do you think that, like, Seth Rogen and team reacted to knowing that there's an animated series that's the same exact content?
I'm sure they knew before, and like
I'm sure they've known it's in the works.
Do you think that they knew that as they took on the project, that this is also in the works to become an animated show?
I would not be surprised if over a year, maybe even 2 years ago, they were like, "Yeah, we're working on this," you know, and that's even before Invincible ended. So it's always been in the background. Even you got to think, like, during issue 20-something, Kirkman was trying to get it into a movie. Like, there's always been the idea that this is going to be something more.
It's just so
I'm
crazy.
So excited to years from now go to a Comic-Con and talk to Ryan Ottley and be like, so what'd you think of the new season of Invincible? Like, isn't that crazy?
How did we get this lucky? Like, this doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen.
Like, movie and then the animated show, which I wanted more than the movie. Like, it seems so surreal. Mm-hmm. And I hope that Invincible doesn't, like, spread itself out
too thin. So far, we're going good.
I really think that advertising is everything.
Yeah, we'll see.
I agree. I agree,
there.
And I think this is Amazon.
But if the content is good, it will spread. Like, look at Stranger Things. You know what I mean? Like, put out a sweet teaser, everybody spreads the word, and it's good. Like,
and this is on Netflix. This is
happen.
This isn't something that's on, like, TV that has billboards. You know what I mean? Or commercials and stuff like that. This isn't.
Yeah, this isn't going to be
on a streaming
then
service.
Advertise Amazon Prime and put a bunch of shows on.
That's what I mean. They can have it on the banners online and stuff. So,
but I see commercials for a Sneaky Pete on TV,
do now
on television.
You do now, yeah.
So I want to see Amazon. That for Invincible.
You'll see it. They will not.
I want it.
You're gonna get it. We hope. Let us know what you think. If there's something that we failed to cover, if you have some thoughts based on what we said, where would you like to see the show go? You know, how would you like to see the first season end or start, or anything like that? Write to us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com, or send us a message over on Twitter or Facebook. We appreciate everybody for listening.
So we're going animated. Big news. Can't wait. Hopefully sometime this year, but doubtful.
Again, I think we're going to see something in San Diego.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hopefully, we'll see.
We will see a trailer at New York Comic-Con. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I said.
Is it what you said?
I said it's Caesar. We'll see something at New York Comic. I don't think we'll see anything at San Diego.
Yeah.
Hopefully, though, I'm just setting expectations. And again, who knows when we'll actually see the show, but,
This year.
we'll see.
How hot do you think it is in here?
It's super hot.
I'm gonna
saying
guess
super
90.
hot.
No.
I don't think it's
not that hot.
90s.
80 degrees.
I was gonna say 83.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can tell?
Nope.
Damn, I wanted to bet you.
Oh, my God,
So we never
bet.
follow up on
So
it.
we
All right,
never follow-
guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thomas said, stay at home, get away from me, saying I was back for you. He got his way. I'm gone for good.
You almost actually harmonized, Ryan.